Hello everyone, welcome back to online learning. Today I am going to deal with another fresh poem. The poem is A Sea of Foliage composed by Toru Dutt. Now let's find out who is Toru Dutt. Toru Dutt was born on 4th March 1856, Kolkata, India. She died on 30th August 1877, Kolkata, India. She is the pioneer of Indian writing in English and she acquires a prominent place in the history of Indian English literature. In her poetry, we can find excellent example of narrative and descriptive verse. Now let's talk about narrative verse. Narrative verse is a form of poetry that tells a story. Characters also can be found in narrative verse. So if you remember, last time we had done a poetry which had a narrative verse and it was Grandma Climbs a Tree written by Ruskin Bond. So now let's talk about the descriptive verse. Descriptive verse has a deep depiction of a person, animal, or inanimate object. So Toru Dutt has very beautifully composed many poems in both narrative and descriptive verse. Her poems have rich description and appreciation of nature. The central theme of some of her poems is the affection for nature. Toru Dutt lived a very short life. She died when she was just 21. Unfortunately, she didn't receive fame in her life, but she was acknowledged as an important poet after 100 years of her death. She spent much of her short life, in two spacious gardens. The name of her gardens are Ram Bagan and Bogmari. So as she spent much of her time in those two gardens, she started observing each and everything, including their color. So this poem is a sonnet. Sonnet is a poem having 14 lines. So this poem also has how many lines? There are 14 lines in this poem. So it is a sonnet and this sonnet describes Bogmari. Bogmari is her garden. Now let's start the poem. The poem describes the beauty of her garden. How can you say that she is talking about her garden? Because on the first line she says our garden. Our garden means the garden belongs to the poet. So she is talking about her family garden. The poet uses the word sea because she compares her garden with sea. How is the sea? The sea is very vast and it is beautiful too. A sea of foliage girds our garden round. Girds means to surround and foliage means the greenery, the vegetation. So the poet has a garden. Every garden has walls. The garden is protected by the walls, the boundary. But in the poet's garden, the walls cannot be found because a rich variety of greenery, the vegetation or foliage, surrounds her garden round. Her garden is distinct in the sense that she has the natural boundary unlike other gardens. So the first line declares that the garden is different from the normal gardens and her garden is very graceful but not a sea of dull unvaried green. Unvaried means without change, it's monotonous. So dull unvaried green means the same kind of greenery. Just one type of plants everywhere, which seems monotonous. The sea is also of green color, but the color of the sea is monotonous. Whenever we see, if we get to see the same color and the same thing, it won't be exciting to view. So we enjoy seeing different things in different colors and textures. So her garden is a sea of foliage. Okay, it is a mixture of plants, colors and textures. It is not like sea which is dull. So her here, she tries to say that her garden is far more better than the sea. It's very much rich in natural vegetation. Sharp contrast of all colors can be seen in her family garden. A rich variety of colors make her garden look so unique. There might be the sameness in others' garden, but in her garden there is the contrast of all the colors. She says that her garden is full of leaves, of plants, which is the strong reason for her to claim that she has wonderful garden. So different aspects of nature can be seen in her spacious garden. Her garden is too large that everything which makes the nature beautiful is beautifying her garden. So she tries to prove that only her garden is the best garden in the world. She talks about the presence of different colors. So at first, she talks about the light green color. A garden consists of tamarinds. Tamarind is a kind of fruit. Okay, it is used in medicine and in cooking too. So tamarind trees are large type of trees, generally cultivated in the warm climate. So the leaves of these tamarinds are light green in color. Graceful tamarind abounds. Abound means to exist in large number. So there is a large number of tamarind trees in her garden which look very graceful in her garden. So next she talks about the dark green color. Her garden is full of other fruits also besides tamarind, and the next fruit is mango. So how does the mango tree grow? How does the mango grow? The mangoes grow in cluster or bunches. The mango grows together. So the clumps of mangoes also have startling color. The dark green leaves of mango also add the contrast in her garden. So we can see the color of mango tree and tamarind tree in poet's garden. So where are the tamarinds growing? The tamarinds are growing in the middle of mango trees. So till here the poet is talking about two different colors. One is the light green tamarind and the next is dark green color of mango trees, which play a vital role to make her garden extraordinary. The poet continues to talk about different things having different colors. Now, she talks about the third color, that is the gray color. We have come to know that she has tamarind and mango trees in her garden. Now we come to know about another tree, that is the palm tree. Palm trees are very tall trees. They are sky high. The color of these trees is gray. These trees stand as pillar in her garden. So this tree is in the middle of her garden. So next she says that there is a pool in her garden. Over the pool there is the shimel tree. Shimel tree is the silk cotton tree. It bears maroon color flower. The pool is very quiet and it is very calm. Over that quiet pool, maroon flowers also bloom, red and starting like a trumpet sound. So what is red? The maroon flower of the shimel tree is red. Red is very attractive color. It's very eye-catchy. So if many colors are kept in display, so our eyes happen to see which color first. Certainly the red one. So red color has the power to attract the people's attention. So does the music. The shimel tree is compared here to the trumpet. Trumpet is the musical instrument. So music can fix our feelings when we are sad, when we are nervous or happy. Okay, so music can make you even more happier. It has such invisible power. As the music attracts everyone, the red color of shimel also attracts the attention of all the passerby. So if anyone walks through our garden, they would once stop to see the garden as the red color flowers enchanted them. So the poet talks about each and every beautiful things of her garden. Now let's go to the next stanza. The poet now tells that she has bamboo trees in her garden. There is the ranges of bamboos to the eastern part of her garden. Bamboos are also tall trees. They are erected trees. These trees also make her garden look very beautiful. At night, when the moon looks through the gaps of bamboos, her garden looks even more spectacular. As I have already told you before that there is a pool in her garden. The white lotus also blooms there. When the moonlight falls in this white lotus, it turns to appear like a cup of silver, the light of the moon and the light reflected through the cup of silver makes her garden look very beautiful even at night. We can't see anything in the absence of light. If there is no light, in darkness, even the beautiful things become ugly because we can't see it. But in the poet's garden, the nature is helping her to make her garden look beautiful even at night. The moon, which peeps through the gapings of bamboos, make her garden beautiful at night too. And when the lotus changes into a cup of silver, then the lotus no longer looks like a flower. And this is the loveliest scene of her garden at night. Now here soon means to feel dizzy. So when we see the beautiful garden of the poet at night, we can see the silver cup. Silver cup shows the enjoyment that is unbearable. One might feel intoxicated by the captivating beauty of silver cup. The poet or the people feel dizzy by seeing such kind of beauty of the poet's garden. People would also remember Eden Garden. So Eden Garden is the first garden where, according to the Bible, Adam and Eve, they were the first humans. They lived in the Eden Garden. So the people think about Eden Garden, seeing the poet's garden. Now this is the end of the poem. So this is the excellent poem by Toru Dutt, which describes the enchanting scene of her garden. The central theme is the beautiful nature. The poet tries to justify that her garden is even more beautiful than the sea. The poem is split into two stanzas, and the 8 lines of the first stanza describes how beautiful her garden looks during the day, and the remaining 6 lines of the second stanza describes the beauty of her garden at night too. So during the day the sun makes her garden look beautiful, and at night the moon helps to make her garden look beautiful. Now there are some questions which you need to solve.